Released in 1974, The Man with the Golden Gun was the ninth installment in the James Bond film series and marked Roger Moore's second appearance as the famous British spy. The movie was a loose adaptation of Ian Fleming's novel of the same name, published in 1965. The plot follows Bond as he investigates a new revolutionary energy technology while facing off against Francisco Scaramanga, a highly skilled assassin known as the Man with the Golden Gun. The film introduced Scaramanga's signature golden weapon, a custom-made gun that became one of the most iconic props in the Bond franchise. While the film was part of the successful Bond series, it remains one of the lower-grossing entries. Despite mixed reviews, Roger Moore's performance helped establish his version of James Bond, a more suave and humorous interpretation compared to Sean Connery's portrayal in previous films. Upon its release, The Man with the Golden Gun received a mixed response from critics and audiences. While many praised Christopher Lee's portrayal of the villainous Francisco Scaramanga, the film as a whole did not live up to expectations. Lee's performance as a deadly assassin with skills on par with Bond himself was a highlight, adding tension and intrigue to the story. However, the film's lighter comedic tone was a point of criticism, with some arguing that it undermined the suspense and action. Roger Moore's performance also divided critics, as some felt his portrayal of Bond lacked the edge and grit of Sean Connery's version. Additionally, Britt Ekland's role as Mary Goodnight, Bond's love interest, was criticized for being underdeveloped. Despite the criticisms, the film remained financially successful, proving the enduring popularity of the James Bond franchise and setting the stage for Moore's continued tenure as the iconic spy. Originally, The Man with the Golden Gun was planned to be the next Bond film after You Only Live Twice, 1967. Producers Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman had considered Roger Moore for the role of James Bond at that time. The project faced significant delays. The original plan was to film in Cambodia, but an unexpected political uprising made production impossible. As a result, the script was shelved, and the Bond series took a different direction, leading to the casting of George Lazenby for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969. By the time Live and Let Die, 1973, was completed, the producers decided to move forward with The Man with a Golden Gun as Moore's second Bond film. However, they relocated the setting to a new region, as parts of the original novel's story had already been used in Dr. No, 1962, necessitating fresh locations for a unique cinematic experience. When it came time to film The Man with a Golden Gun, the production team decided to shift the setting from Jamaica to Thailand and Hong Kong. This was a significant change, as Jamaica had been used in previous Bond films, and the producers wanted a fresh location for this installment. Thailand was an exciting and visually striking choice, offering stunning landscapes and exotic locales that fit well with the Bond aesthetic. Producer Harry Saltzman had long been interested in filming in Thailand and saw this as the perfect opportunity. Many scenes were shot in Bangkok and the surrounding regions, including the now famous limestone rock formations in Phang Nga Bay, which became the setting for Scaramanga's lair. The location became so iconic that today it is known as James Bond Island, attracting countless tourists. The exotic setting helped add a unique and memorable element to the film's overall atmosphere. One of the most memorable elements of The Man with a Golden Gun was Scaramanga's signature weapon, the Golden Gun. Designed to be a sleek and sophisticated assassin's weapon, it was crafted from everyday items, including a cigarette case, fountain pen, and lighter. 3 versions of the Golden Gun were made for filming: a solid non-functional model, a working version with a percussion mechanism, and one that could be disassembled and reassembled. Christopher Lee, who played Scaramanga, later admitted that the reassembly process was complicated and often resulted in failed takes. One of the guns was taken by Lee for promotional purposes, but was confiscated by U.S. Customs while he was on tour. Another Golden Gun, stored in a prop warehouse in England, was discovered to be missing in 2008, presumed stolen. Despite these incidents, the Golden Gun remains one of the most iconic weapons in film history. One of the most impressive moments in The Man with the Golden Gun was the daring 360-degree aerial car roll stunt. This complex maneuver, performed using an AMC Hornet, was developed at the Cornell Aeronautical Laboratory in Buffalo, New York, as part of advanced vehicle simulation software. It was later included in the All-American Thrill show under the name Astro Spiral. The film's producers saw the stunt and decided to license it for use in the movie. Stunt driver Bumps Willard was tasked with executing the maneuver on camera. Remarkably, he completed the stunt successfully on the very first take. This moment remains one of the most difficult and technically precise car stunts in cinematic history. Despite the jaw-dropping spectacle, some viewers felt that the comedic slide whistle sound effect used during the jump undercut the stunt's impact, making it seem less dramatic than intended. Music plays a key role in James Bond films, and for The Man with a Golden Gun, rock legend Alice Cooper submitted a theme song. The song was specifically written for the movie and matched the Bond theme style, incorporating a dark, dramatic sound. However, the film's producers ultimately decided to go with a different approach, choosing British singer Lulu to perform the official title song. Lulu's version was more upbeat and energetic, but received mixed reviews, with some considering it one of the weaker Bond themes. Alice Cooper, disappointed by the rejection, later released his song on his album Muscle of Love, giving fans the opportunity to hear what could have been the film's title track. While his version was never used in the film, it remains a fun piece of Bond trivia and an interesting what-if moment in the franchise's musical history. Behind the scenes, The Man with the Golden Gun marked the end of an era for the Bond franchise. Longtime co-producers Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman had been partners for years, but tensions between them had been growing. While most of their disagreements occurred privately, their working relationship had deteriorated significantly by the time filming started. Several public disputes further strained their partnership, making it clear that they could no longer continue working together. After the film's release, Saltzman sold his stake in the Bond franchise, leaving Broccoli as the sole producer moving forward. This shift led to a new direction for future Bond films, with Broccoli having full creative control. The split was a significant turning point in the history of the series, and while Saltzman had played a major role in shaping early Bond films, he would not return for future installments. During filming in Thailand, Roger Moore had an unsettling experience while shooting the boat chase scenes. Twice, he accidentally fell into a heavily polluted river. The production team had warned everyone to avoid the water due to its contamination, but Moore ended up in it twice, once as a joke and once by accident. On the second fall, he made the mistake of opening his eyes underwater, only to see human bodies beneath the surface. These were corpses discarded by local undertakers, as some impoverished families could not afford proper burials. Horrified, Moore immediately rushed out of the water. This shocking moment stuck with him for years and was one of the most disturbing things he encountered during his time as Bond. Ironically, this was the only Bond film in which Moore's character was never shown getting wet on screen. The production of The Man with the Golden Gun faced several difficulties beyond script rewrites and location changes. One of the biggest challenges was the tension between producers Harry Saltzman and Albert Broccoli, whose partnership was falling apart due to creative and financial disagreements. Their disputes often spilled onto the set, creating an uneasy atmosphere for the cast and crew. Additionally, Roger Moore struggled with some of the action sequences, as he preferred a more suave and less physically demanding portrayal of Bond. He also had difficulty working with Hervé Villechaize, who played Scaramanga's henchman Nick Nack, due to the actor's off-screen antics. The extreme heat and humidity in Thailand also made filming difficult, with the cast and crew frequently battling exhaustion. Despite these issues, the film was completed on schedule. However, the behind-the-scenes conflicts led to Saltzman selling his share of the Bond franchise shortly after the film's release, marking a major turning point in the series' history. Despite its mixed reception upon release, The Man with the Golden Gun has remained a significant entry in the James Bond franchise. One of its most lasting contributions is the iconic Golden Gun itself, which has become one of the most recognizable weapons in movie history. The film also solidified Roger Moore's interpretation of Bond, embracing a more humorous and charming approach that would define his tenure. Additionally, the film's stunning locations in Thailand helped popularize Phang Nga Bay, which is now famously known as James Bond Island, attracting thousands of tourists annually. The groundbreaking 360-degree car stunt also set a new standard for practical effects in action films, influencing future Bond movies and action filmmaking in general. Although some critics view it as one of the weaker Bond films, it still holds nostalgic value for many fans. Over the years, The Man with the Golden Gun has gained a cult following, with many appreciating its campy charm, Christopher Lee's menacing villain, and its place in Bond history. While it may not be the most critically acclaimed film in the franchise, its influence on pop culture, action filmmaking, and tourism has ensured its place as an enduring piece of James Bond legacy. The Man with the Golden Gun premiered on December 19, 1974, in London, with a general release in the UK the same day. While it was profitable, grossing around $100 million worldwide, it ranked lower among Bond films in terms of box office earnings. Despite mixed reviews, its success reaffirmed the franchise's popularity. Over time, it has become a cult favorite among Bond fans.